This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Right now, some wintry weather is coming our way. Our Weather First team is tracking light snow and rain tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. It won't be anything major or cause problems on the roads. Let's get a check on the forecast from meteorologist Jim Castillo. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, hi, Kelly. So that's exactly right. We've seen not only some raindrops, but also snowflakes around Farmington and even around Cuba, Missouri. And you can see the ground is wet here. So we're watching these snowflakes. And if you get any accumulation, it'll be on the grassy areas and the soil and also the elevated surfaces. So we might see that in some cases tonight, about a half an inch, maybe a little bit more in a couple of spots. But again, watching those higher hilltops south and west, notice the temperatures dropping down into the lower 30s now as that moisture begins to move up toward the metro. So far just cloudy in St. Louis, but we'll zoom in to around the Farmington area. We had again a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow mixing in there, and that temperature is about 34, but the streets are fine as of right now. In St. Louis at high 41, we're at 39 right now, and that dew point very low at 24 degrees. It'll go up as the temperature goes down, and again, watching that chance of seeing that snow throughout the evening hours. So may start as rain, as we've seen in a couple of spots, remaining above freezing temperature-wise and amounts less than 1 inch and mainly on grassy areas. Much more on a stronger storm for Monday and Tuesday coming up in just a bit.
All right, and our Weather First team will keep their forecast updated online. To get the very latest info, just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Tonight, an outpouring of support for a retired Illinois teacher after her house was burglarized and set on fire. The man accused of doing it is currently in jail facing 4 felony charges. Justina Coronel joins us in studio with details on the case. What have you learned, Justina?
Yeah, Kelly. So this all happened last Saturday evening in Brownstown, Illinois, a little more than an hour east of St. Louis. 36-year-old Tyler Rowe is in jail charged with home invasion, aggravated arson, burglary, and theft. Now, the homeowner, Sandra Stein, tells me she is a retired teacher of 35 years serving the Brownstown School District. She said last Saturday she walked into her home only to find an intruder inside. Stein tells me he grabbed her arms and sprayed a substance, but she was able to escape and get help. Then her house was set on fire and one of her cats died. Police say the suspect left in her car and police started chasing him. He was eventually stopped and an officer shot the suspect. Now, Stein told me that Tyler Rowe is her former student. She's been overwhelmed with the generous support coming her way.
I know that people in my community are so awesome, and I'm feeling so loved, and I am so humbled, and there's got to be a better word. But I'm blessed. I am blessed with good people in my life.
Right now, there is an account set up at the First National Bank in Brownstown for anyone wanting to help Sandra. As for the officer-involved shooting in this case, police haven't confirmed if the suspect had a weapon or if he's the one who drew his gun first. We're told that part of the case is still under investigation.
Felony charges are downgraded to a misdemeanor for a former Jefferson County deputy charged in a crash that killed his wife. Colby McCreary was driving in April last year when he went off the road and crashed. His wife, Savannah McCreary, was a passenger and died. He was originally charged with DWI, resulting in death, and involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say they can't charge him with these felonies because they can't prove them beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors say Savannah wasn't wearing a seatbelt or in her seat when the crash happened. Today, St. Louis issued a mask mandate for all city employees, but just hours ago, it changed that decision. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is live downtown to explain why the city reversed course so quickly, Mark.
Yeah, Kelly, it's not immediately clear where the breakdown occurred between hospital officials and the city health department. What we do know is that the city had to walk back its initial more alarming statistics while it kept a mask mandate for city workers in place, at least for several hours. Then that fell too after Governor Parson applied pressure. Local hospitals and health officials reached out to correct the record. Now that mandate, merely a suggestion. Here's what happened. Essentially, the city's first warning Thursday afternoon included an apples to oranges comparison, inflating concerns of a seasonal surge. Now, compared to seasonal surges that might have happened at different times in years past. Today, hospital officials assured us their capacity is not strained. They do have enough beds, and they're managing what they called a typical winter. Late Friday, the city issued an update saying masks for city workers are now just strongly recommended, not required. Confusion aside, while officials are measuring an uptick in all three, flu, RSV, and COVID-19, one hospital worker we talked to felt that at this point, people have enough information to protect themselves without mandates.
I don't think everybody have to wear them.
Just the city workers.
I don't think they should either.
Why is that?
Because I don't think everybody, a lot of people have been have their shots and stuff. So the ones that do have their shots, they let them worry about their own self getting COVID.
And I've confirmed this afternoon that the chiefs of staff for Governor Parson and Mayor Jones did discuss this topic just moments before that mandate was reversed. Also, moments before that reversal, new attention from U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt, who was the attorney general who fought many of these mask mandates. He released a statement saying, quote, "Here we go again with tyrannical mask mandates." Moments later, the mayor would reverse it. Live downtown, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Tonight, we're hearing from the Missouri woman released from prison after plotting to kill her mother. Gypsy Rose Blanchard persuaded her boyfriend to kill her mother in 2015. She was just released last week. Gypsy says her mother abused her and forced her to pretend she was suffering from various medical issues. She says she went through unnecessary surgeries and was forced to use a wheelchair and feeding tube.
Yes, I do feel like the system failed me. I realize that there are resources and things that are put in place to protect kids from going through what I went through. And unfortunately, I just fell through the cracks of all of it.
She says she would likely still be abused today if her mother were alive. Her boyfriend at the time was sentenced to life in prison. Tonight, we are learning more information about a high school shooting or school shooting in Iowa. That shooting left a 6th grade student dead and several others hurt. NBC's Adrienne Broaddus is in the town of Perry with the latest.
A day later, and here in Perry, still a tremendous amount of pain. The school is closed and the high school, as you can see, is still a crime scene. Thursday was the first day back to school following winter break for the district. But before those students could make it inside of the classroom, they were met with terror. Investigators have identified a 17-year-old student as the shooter, Dylan Butler. Police say he injured 4 people and killed a 6th grader. Now, some of you might be wondering, did this happen at the high school? Yes, it did. But at the time, there was a breakfast program going on, so there were a number of students here at the high school. We were also learning more about the administrator investigators say was injured. According to a Facebook post, that administrator has been identified as the principal, Dan Marburger, by his daughter. She writes in a Facebook post calling her dad a gentle giant. She also says she was not surprised to learn that her father approached Dylan and tried to talk him down, distracting him long enough, allowing the other students in the cafeteria time to escape. Back to you.
Butler died after shooting himself. Police say he posted on social media around the time of the shooting, including a picture of him inside the school bathroom with a duffel bag saying, quote, "Now we wait." Students say he was bullied and struggled at school. Police are still investigating the motive. A new jobs report shows more employers are hiring, what it could mean for interest rates. Cutting costs for consumers, one state is lowering prescription drug prices by getting them outside the U.S. As respiratory viruses rise, our Verify team explains whether you can buy one test for both the COVID and flu.